About 2 weeks ago, I was starting to feel a little nostalgic, so I busted out some of the old VHSs that I had, and was watching some 90s movies and stuff like that. Um, then, I don't know, something came over me. I'm like, I want more VHS tapes. I already have quite a few, but I wanted to get more, add them to my collection. So like I've been kind of scanning like old video stores and stuff. Like they'll still have them. You can get them like insanely cheap. I know VHS is an outdated format, but I don't know. It's cool. I like them still. That's just me. I won't like be like I'll only watch Blu-ray. Um, yeah. But over the last few weeks, I've been buying some VHS tapes. So I know I don't normally do DVD Blu-ray updates that much anymore, or at all. I don't know, depending on how long you've been watching this channel. But I want to do a huge, mega, super epic VHS update to show you my haul, what I've gotten, show you my haul, not my hole, show you what I've gotten over the past couple of weeks. Um, there were a few video stores that I went to. Some of them were pawn shops. Some are like, vintage video stores. So there's a lot of selections in my area, which is cool. So I can get them anywhere between like 10 cents to $1.50 or so. More often than not, it's about 50 cents that I can get them. But anyway, I'll show you what I got. No particular order, except for maybe the first few, which are more kids movies, more nostalgic kids movies, stuff like that. So anyway, here we go. Here's the haul. First one I'll show you, kind of a classic in its own right. It's Matilda. Remember the early 90s when like everyone had Mara Wilson fever? She was the huge kid star. She was in everything. Mrs. Doubtfire, Miracle on 35th Street, or 34th Street. That was the sequel. Simple Wish. So she was in pretty much everything. This, I think, is the best movie with her. Really, really holds up, this movie. You know, watching it, I really have an appreciation for Danny DeVito. He is one of my favorite actors, actually. It's kind of amazing how involved he was with this movie, and it kind of like it's weird because he's the asshole father in the movie, but he's also the narrator. So it's kind of weird. Like, is he narrating as a father? Well, no, he's not. He's saying the father's, I don't know, whatever. And he directed it. He probably wrote it. Well, it doesn't say he wrote it, but he probably went back in time and helped Roald Dahl write the book or whatever. But really great movie. It has a nice message to it. It's something that I think holds up and both kids and adults can enjoy. A nice simple message about, feeling, underappreciated, that adults don't know everything, and education is important. So I think that's a timeless message. So just because it's a 90s movie, it feels like it could be from the 70s or the 80s. So it does have a timeless quality, which makes it work, I think. And Mara Wilson is great in it. Danny DeVito, Rhea Perlman is great in it too. And Bette David's also really great. So yeah, check this out. Dust this one off if you have it around. Another one that doesn't hold up quite as well, but still okay, is Flubber. Robin Williams. I love anything with Robin Williams. Again, one of my favorite actors. This one, it's kind of weird. He plays it a lot more reserved, actually. Like, he's not too wacky. So there's that. And of course, there's Christopher McDonald in the movie as the villain in every single 90s movie ever. So there's that too. And yeah, some funny moments. The CGI, it holds up okay. I mean, it's not like it's supposed to be like a photorealistic creature or something like that. It's just like a green blob, so it holds up well. And there's some funny gags, and yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Another one is, this is sort of an obscure one, but it's one from my childhood that I've always really liked. It's Rockadoodle, with like the Elvis chicken, Chanticleer. Oh, good. I haven't rewatched this just yet, so I still have the memory in my head of it being a good movie, so maybe it doesn't hold up. But it's a Don Bluth movie, so usually these are hit or miss, depending on who you ask. I mean, I know he has a following. People who are like, not worthy to Don Bluth. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Another one, total childhood favorite. I've seen this movie 100 times or more. I have it on Blu-ray and DVD. I have a combo pack of it. Like, it had a 25th anniversary release recently, but I saw this and I just, you know what? It's 50 cents. I should get this. The Last Unicorn. An absolute classic. Great voice work, Alan Arkin, Jeff Bridges, Christopher Lee as this gentleman right here. Hello. Great movie. In a similar vein of Lord of the Rings, like the animated version of it, like very similar animation to it, and fantasy epic. Yeah, this one just hits me with nostalgia really bad. And even though I have the Blu-ray, I like to have this just for sentimental reasons, I guess. I don't know. Another one I got, again, still going through the childhood favorites. I'm almost done with these, but it's The Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez and his gang of misfits. This is a totally 90s movie. Not much more to say about that. You could probably get like the trilogy, the original trilogy, on DVD for probably like $5 or something. But it's good to have. Whatever. Rookie of the Year, another 90s kids sports movie. These were always really popular. I couldn't find the Big Green anywhere. I'm looking for it. If you know where I can find it, let me know. Yeah, good movie. I want Angels in the Outfield. I need to find that too. Finally, out of the kids ones, the Don Bluth. It's The Land Before Time. This is, again, I've seen this movie like 100 times when I was a kid. One of my favorites. I did watch it again recently. To be totally honest, it doesn't hold up like 100%. Like, it's not. I don't think it's a masterpiece, but I think it is a very good movie. Very good characters, great animation, and yeah, this will always be a favorite of mine. Another favorite, and again, kind of same principle as Mighty Ducks. You could probably get a trilogy for like beans, but The Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad. Leslie Nielsen, an icon, a Canadian icon. One of the funniest movies ever made, in my opinion. Just so off the wall, just so crazy, hilarious. I love this movie, and that's all I'll say about that. Another great comedy is The Nutty Professor. Again, I've probably seen this like 100 times. Eddie Murphy is just brilliant in this movie, playing all the characters. He plays Ed Sherman, he plays his whole family, he plays Richard Simmons, he plays his doppelganger who turns thin. It's just such a great movie. It's a basic plot. I mean, it's the typical kind of thing that you'd see. It's a remake of a Jerry Lewis movie, obviously. But just to see Eddie Murphy perform, I think this is a powerhouse performance. I mean, this is the kind of performance that makes you, think like, comedy doesn't get as much respect as drama should, but this is a go for broke kind of comedic performance. Giving it his all, it's incredible. It's awe-inspiring, really, what Eddie Murphy does here. He's a great talent. People shit on him too much. I mean, I'll hold this up. I'll say, don't talk shit about Eddie Murphy. He did The Nutty Professor, so fuck you. Also, now this is where it gets confusing. Eddie, with Whoopi Goldberg. I had vague memories of this movie, so I was like, oh, I see it in the video store, 50 cents, I'll get it. And I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay, my memory of this movie is like she's going to be the coach of the basketball team, but like they don't respect her because she's a woman or something, so she has to dress up like an old man, and the movie's like halfway over, or like halfway done, or halfway through. And I'm like, she's not dressing up like a man yet. What's going on here? Then I realized that's not Eddie. That's a totally different movie. So this confused me. And that different movie was The Associate, where she's not a basketball coach. She's just like a Wall Street stockbroker. So these two movies, I get these confused really bad. So, I mean, look, they almost look Whoopi Goldberg, just like, yeah. But yeah, Eddie I didn't like too much, but I was watching The Associate just recently, and it holds up pretty good. I mean, it's not like Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy level of like losing yourself under the makeup, but it's good. I liked it. Another one is a Dana Carvey movie, Opportunity Knocks. I haven't watched this again yet, but Dana Carvey, he's a legend. He's great. Party on, right? Another one, IQ. Walter Matthau is Albert Einstein. I haven't watched this, so I don't know. It looks interesting. I'll give it a look. Another one I haven't watched this either. Mr. Wrong. Ellen DeGeneres. Before she was a talk show host, she starred in mediocre movies. So yeah, I don't know. It looks interesting. I'll give it a look. Speaking of mediocre movies. It's My Best Friend's Wedding. No, I haven't. You know what? I don't think I've seen this, to be honest with you. But it's Julia Roberts. It's a '90s movie. If you want to feel nostalgic, whatever. Um, Phenomenon. I assure you, I did not pay $12.99 for this. The sticker's still on here, which is interesting. Jumbo Video. Again, I get this confused with the Angel movie. What was Michael? That was it. I get it confused with this one too. So I don't know. I don't remember seeing it. If I did, only have vague memories of it. But I like John Travolta. I think people unfairly criticize him for some of his more recent roles, like for From Paris with Love or what have you. Like he's one of those actors. He's like Eddie Murphy, really. He keeps on doing roles, but people praise him so little for the good ones and shit on him so much for the bad ones that they make a big deal out of it. But he's a good actor. I'm sure this is a good movie, but maybe it sucks. What do I know? Okay, this one. This is a classic. This is a great movie. If you haven't seen this, I urge you to find it by any means necessary. Watch this. It's Ruthless People, another Danny DeVito movie. He's brilliant in it. Judge Reinhold. Bette Midler is in it. Bill Pullman is in it too. This is such a funny movie. It was super 80s. Like Danny DeVito basically hates his wife, wants to kill her. Guess what? She gets kidnapped, and he's like happy about it. So, very funny movie. Kind of a dark comedy, sort of, but it's very funny all the way through. So, check this movie out. This is a classic, very underappreciated gem, I think. Another kind of maybe sort of underappreciated gem is it's The Big Tease with Craig Ferguson. Maybe a little bit obscure, but his fans know about this one, I'm sure. Like, he talks openly about this movie. A Scottish hairdresser goes to California to make it, and, that's pretty much it. It's like made in the style of a faux documentary. So, kind of, this is from, like, late 90s, so 1998, 99. Took a lot of guts sort of to make a movie like this. I mean, they don't make too many. Like, this is Spinal Tap. That's literally the only one I can think of right now. But then it kind of moved to TV. Like, you'll see The Office and Parks and Recreation and Modern Family. So the faux documentary thing is in full force now. But this would be interesting as a TV series. But I like Craig Ferguson as a host. So it's a good movie. Check it out. The Big Hit, Marky Mark. I think this is one of his first movies. This movie is just insane. It's like a very 90s movie, but at the same time, it's like American 90s meets 80s Hong Kong action. So it's interesting. And Lou Diamond Phillips, the guy is nuts in this movie. He's so great. Like, if you see it for any reason. So again, I didn't pay $14.99 for this. But yeah, not bad. Good soundtrack, real fun. Another one, it's a Conspiracy Theory with Mel and Julia. This movie's okay. I think it probably would have benefited from watching this on like a DVD or Blu-ray, to be honest, because some movies you can just tell that it was shot in a certain aspect ratio, like the 2.35:1 or whatever it is, that's super wide, so on a TV screen it literally cuts off half the image. So I kind of felt that during this movie, and it's an okay movie. Mel Gibson gives a good performance, but it kind of runs a little long, but it was good. I liked it. This is also a really underrated gem. Night Shift with Ron Howard, not with Ron Howard, with Henry Winkler. It's directed by Ron Howard and Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is the fucking bomb in this movie. He's so good in it, so funny. One of his best roles, aside from maybe Beetlejuice and Batman. If you don't know the plot, it's a couple of workers at the morgue. They set up a prostitution ring in the morgue, and all the hilarity that ensues. I mean, that's a formula for a comedy right there. But a great movie. Really kind of overlooked is one of the great comedies of the 80s, in my opinion. This movie, overlooked for good reason. American Werewolf in Paris. It's not horrible. It's a bad movie. It's somewhat amusing in a lot of respects. Like, they try to capture the same kind of comedic spirit as the original American Werewolf in London film, but this movie has nothing on it, nothing at all. mainly because the CGI in this movie is horrible. Like I was talking about Flubber like a minute or so ago, how they work within their limits with Flubber. It was just a green blob. Here they're doing like werewolves, and it looks like fucking PS1 cutscene CGI. It's bad, and it takes you out of the movie. But then again, Julie Delpy does go topless, so there's that. Another one of my favorite movies, Talk Radio. I have this on DVD, but I don't know. I just thought, why not have it on VHS? You know, one of Oliver Stone's best movies. Varsity Blues. Nothing to say about that. Grosse Point Blank is another one here. John Cusack, Dan Aykroyd, a great movie, a classic by its own right. The soundtrack itself is like a force within the movie. It just works so well. Really, really good movie. I wish I could have probably got this on DVD or Blu-ray or so again, but you know, it's nice to have. It's a 90s movie, so what can you do? Okay, this next one is one of my all-time favorite movies ever made. Ever. I judge a person on whether or not they love this movie or not, and that's Uncle Buck. One of my favorites. It's so good, so funny. John Candy playing the hilarious Uncle Buck. There's Macaulay Culkin in the movie as one of the kids. Just such a classic. I've watched this movie like 800,000,000 times. Yeah, and I laugh every single time. And like a lot of other John Hughes movies, it does have heart to it too, which is important. But John Candy's best movie. No ifs, ands, or buts. Just a hilarious movie. One of my all-time favorites. If you don't like this movie, don't talk to me. Another movie is I started getting into like the 90s horror kind of stuff. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Ooh, shiny, look at that. Oh yeah, fancy. Obviously capitalizing on Scream's success, but definitely not as good. It's not really that good of a movie, but it, you know, has its moments. And to be honest, I mean, this is more nostalgia for me because I totally had like super huge crushes on both Sarah Michelle Gellar and Jennifer Love Hewitt in the 90s when I was a kid. So it's great watching them. They're hot, and I don't know. It's okay. It's an okay movie. Also got the sequel. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Sadly missing Sarah Michelle Gellar, but Brandy's not a bad substitute. Jennifer Love Hewitt is back. Freddie Prinze Jr. is back. This movie, it's not good, but it kind of just doesn't give a fuck, which I kind of respect in a weird kind of way. I kind of respect that. I won't go into too much detail, but I actually wrote a review of it on my Tumblr page, so please check out my Tumblr. I do a lot of reviews and put up pictures of stuff that I bought and stuff like that. So if you want to check out like a written review of this, I'll post a link to my review database. All my written reviews. Another one, again, another crush of mine, Neve Campbell in The Craft. This movie holds up, actually. It's a really great movie. And Fairuza Balk also in it, also really hot. It's kind of like the you know, gothic girl, but not too gothic or whatever. I don't know, but pretty good movie. And love Neve Campbell in it, and she's Canadian. Oh, that's another point for her. And another crush, Katie Holmes. I know after Tom Cruise, the world gave up on Katie Holmes, but in the 90s she was super duper hot. Super duper airbrushed, apparently. But yeah, this is not a good movie, but it has its moments too. I thought Nick Stahl was pretty good in it. And William Sadler. If you don't know who William Sadler is, he's the bad guy, the Colonel from Die Hard 2. He's in this movie. He plays like the janitor with a secret. He's good in the movie. So if you're interested in William Sadler's performance, give it a look. It's not bad. One of the most 90s movies ever made, Can't Hardly Wait. It's so 90s at the time that you'd think this was a movie made today with all the 90s stereotypes and soundtrack. This movie still holds up. I mean, it's definitely like American Pie influenced. Or wait, did this come up before American Pie? I think it did. I think it came out before American Pie. Well, there you go. But 90s party movie. It's very good. A good cast. Seth Green is in it. Jennifer Love Hewitt, of course. Lots of cameos by, God, who knows? Geez, so many people. Donald Faison is in it from Scrubs. Well, a lot of people are in it, but whatever. Finally, I'm done with the 90s crushes, but another one is this girl here, Alicia Silverstone. Be Still My Heart. But yeah, Excess Baggage, Benicio del Toro. I haven't seen this in forever, so I'm looking forward to watching this again. I'm pretty sure it's not that good, but whatever. Another one. This is a weird movie. Okay, it's this. Never mind that. It's The Stupids, directed by John Landis, who directed Animal House, who directed American Werewolf in London. What a fall from grace this was. But it's an interesting movie. It's sort of a concept movie. What if the characters were so stupid that they were actually kind of smart and solved a problem? Tom Arnold, based on a children's book. It's not bad. It's amusing. I would suggest checking this out. As you can see, the top is out. This was like 10 cents, but whatever. Another really weird one. Stuart Saves His Family. Based on an SNL sketch. I watched this last night. I'd never seen it before. I was familiar with the sketch, but the movie's not funny. I don't think it's a comedy. It's more of like an offbeat drama, really. It deals with like alcoholism and self problems and stuff like that. So it's really heavy actually for what's supposedly supposed to be a comedy. But Al Franken is great in it, and so is Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays his pot-smoking slacker brother. So it's worth checking out. I think it's on Netflix, so you don't have to watch it on VHS if you don't want to. Another one, Memoirs of an Invisible Man with Chevy Chase. I like Chevy Chase. I know he's not everybody's cup of tea, considering his reputation. So some people try to avoid his work, but this is a good movie. I'd never seen it before. I blind bought the VHS, and good effects, good story about being invisible. I mean, it's definitely a higher quality movie than Hollow Man with Kevin Bacon, which turns into like an action movie. This one kind of looks more into the psychology of it, though there is the action thriller element to it with the secret organization trying to get him and stuff like that. But it's a good movie. I'd suggest checking out if you haven't. Another VHS. It's a classic. It's Bachelor Party. Tom Hanks, back in his funny screwball comedy days. Just a classic. I love that movie. I got an Andy Kaufman videotape. I love Andy Kaufman. I'm a huge fan. Ever since I saw Man in the Moon, I was like, I need to know more about this guy. So I've always kept an eye out for, performances and VHSs and stuff. This is just, what is this actually? This is just the Andy Kaufman show. So it's like an hour long, not too much content on it, but it's worth checking out. This is a big get for me. The Max, I did watch the show originally when it aired on MTV. Really interesting show, and an interesting comic, and the animation in the show is wonderful, because they do kind of like just scan right from the comics. Really dark and cerebral and surreal, really. Not too many episodes. The whole series fits on this VHS tape, which is saying a lot. It's 2 hours long, but well worth checking out. And check out the comics too, because it's really something interesting, something unique and special. Another one I got, I have this on DVD, I have this on Blu-ray, but I don't know, I just felt I had to get this on VHS. Batman Returns. When I was a kid, I had Batman on VHS, and I had Batman Forever on VHS. I didn't have Batman Returns. I had it taped off like cable or something, so I was always I have purchased a missing piece from my childhood right here, so yeah, that's cool. I love Batman. And another one I found, speaking of Batman, this is interesting. It's called The Story of Batman and Robin. It's a 2-tape set, guys. Very interesting. There's pictures of Val Kilmer here, Michael Keaton, Adam West. And basically, it's a documentary that came out in 1995, I guess right after the success of Batman Forever. It's unlicensed, so they'll just show like still images, like some channels we know, and like stock footage and stuff, like royalty-free footage and stuff. But it's interesting. It takes a look at Batman and Robin and their phenomenon, and it's actually very well done. So even though it doesn't have like official interviews with like Michael Keaton or any of the directors or Bob Kane, anything like that, it's good. I thought it was well worth checking. Kind of an interesting find, I'd say. Another two VHS I got. They're two of my favorite movies. I got Alien 3, and it's in the rental box here, which is interesting. And the same with Aliens here. Aliens. The reason I got these, I mean, they both are VHSs, like originally made when the movies first came out on home video. Aliens from 1987 is when this VHS first came out. So I've been kind of contemplative about this specifically. So this VHS comes out 1987. They put it in a video store. They cut up the case and put it in this thing here. You know, people watch it. They take it home, enjoy it. It's somehow survived the DVD revolution. Somehow was kept in a corner somewhere. Found its way to a used video store and into my possession. So I don't know. I like that. But it's one of my favorite movies. I have like 2 different versions of this on VHS already, and the DVD, and the other DVD, and the Blu-ray. And I'll probably get, if they make another Blu-ray set, guess what? I'll probably get it. But yeah, that's my whole VHS update. Hope you enjoyed watching, and yeah, I don't know, if you still have some VHSs around, I think they're good to watch. I mean, obviously, I like Blu-ray better. Obviously, I like DVD better. They're better picture quality, better sound quality. It's truer to the vision that they originally intended for release of these movies. But there's something interesting about watching a movie on the original form of media where it was available for home viewing at the time. I don't know, it's like time traveling or something. You get into a certain mindset, you're like, okay, this is what it was like to watch this movie at home in 1996 or 1980 or whatever. So I don't know. I'll never look down on VHS. I want to keep my VHSs for as long as humanly possible. Keep my VCR, watch them. So I've been watching a whole bunch lately. I'm going to watch even more. But yeah, this is my epic update. Whew, I'm just done today. So yeah, thanks for watching a lot, and have a great day. And comment, rate, subscribe, and oh yeah, check out the Tumblr, read reviews, follow me, say hi, whatever. But yeah, see ya.